Going on to you, Gemini. So you have the King of Swords, Three of Swords, King of Cups. Excuse me. I want to get this right. The Knight of Cups. Then you have the Queen of Cups, the Page of Swords. So a lot of cup cards. The Ace of Wands, the Four of Cups, the Temperance, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Queen of Wands. So, okay, so for you Geminis, first and foremost, you have the Temperance, which is Sagittarius, which is the exact opposite sign of you Geminis. So the King of Swords, the Three of Swords, the Knight of Cups. This is about how a lot of you Geminis, a lot of you are starting to realize that the King of Swords, you had to learn how to be very cold and very swift when it came to getting rid of, i.e., cutting off people out of your life, because a lot of the times people are parasites and they try to intrude your life with a smile on their face, and they try to make it seem like they like you, but in actuality they really don't mean you any good. So the Three of Swords and Knight of Cups, this is really a situation for a lot of you where, because what happens when they get themselves into a position to be trusted is Three of Swords, they always try to find a way to cause mischief, cause some sort of harm, break your heart, not be there for you, right? Throw you up underneath the bus. So the Knight of Cups now represent, but at the same time, they have the audacity to make it seem like they have your best interest in mind. They love you, they care about you, but the whole time they had some form of ulterior motive. And honestly speaking, that's just pretty much a rites of passage for Geminis, because a lot of the times in your life, you will be going up against someone head-to-head, mental game versus mental game, because like us, go ahead, because that's what the majority of the game that's out. Most people are in the game. Most people are into trying to run game on another person. And a lot, like I said before, a lot of you Geminis, a lot of the zodiac signs, just in general, y'all are starting to see everything that I'm talking about is the truth. That yes, the vast majority of people are in the game. You can't talk to them because they're so busy trying to run game on you, trying to get their way, trying to take advantage, trying to outsmart you. They're making it more about trying to get one over on you than they are about actually handling their problems. And then you realize that you can't talk to people like this, because those are the type of people who are pretty much, they're lost. There is no talking to those types of people. But the Queen of Cups and the Page of Swords, it represents that puzzle, that how are you supposed to get to know people that essentially you can't trust? Well, not everybody is not everyone is caught up with the games. What you're supposed to be doing is figure out a way for you to find and actually find people who really have some form of self-respect, enough not to be running game on anybody, right? So as a result of this, and how it is that you're able to do that, come in, is by understanding the game in on itself. That's how it is that you're able to understand, right? Once you understand the games, once you understand how people run games, then you're able to understand when someone is running game and when they're not, in different nuances, right? That's another thing that matters too. And when to stay away from those people and when to trust those individuals. So now the Page of Swords, come in. So now the Page of Swords now represents, so as a result of this, but you have to learn to do that, right? Subtly, because the game is subtle. People try to run it on you because they're trying to make themselves seem like they're masterminds without you even knowing, and they're trying to have you think that it was your idea. So what it is that you really want to do is you really want to put yourself in their shoes when they're trying to run that type of game, get inside the person's head and understand from their perspective how they would try to play you. And then the thing about it is that the Ace of Wands now represents, while at the same time, while you're doing that, not to identify with the person so much to the point where you lose who you are, getting caught up in revenge or trying to get them back, or which is revenge, but trying to also have the mentality of, well, forget about it then. So many people are in the game. Why don't I be in the game too, right? Talking about you from the first person position. And you shouldn't do it, because people who are in the game and playing games and stuff like this, as I said before, they're not really very bright, because they're creative when it comes to mischief and playing games, but they're not very successful in life, because why don't they use that same creativity that they spend so much time trying to con you into actually just being in a successful relationship with you, and focus on that. So the Four of Cups now and the Temperance now represents, but this is how sit down people are going to be, right? And that you could be offering a helping hand, which is you here, but these people are caught up in their own self-pity. And if that's the mentality that they're going to be caught up on, then you have to understand that there's nothing that you Geminis can do. Because secretly, those people who run game on you, 100% of them really don't like themselves. Because if they did, they would really understand how waste of time they would, and it is, and they would respect themselves more. So then you have the Temperance. And the Temperance represents, so a lot of you Geminis realize that you're going to use your own gifts, your own talents, your own focus, to not focus on the nonsense that they're doing, and you're going to focus on what it is that you need to be doing, and not get so caught up with what they got going on. The Ten of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands, however, the Ten of Pentacles represents, and at the same time, a lot of you Geminis may be questioning yourselves, like, are you giving a little bit too much? And the answer to that is no, not necessarily. Because a lot of you Geminis pretty much are very good when it comes to give and take. I'll say, excuse me, the only thing that you Geminis pretty much have to understand is just know when people are trying to run game on you, and when and where to stay away from them, okay? And to not play their games along with them. That's it. You don't need to be more selfish. You Geminis are selfish enough in the sense of a healthy form of selfishness. You don't need to become unhealthy selfish to the point where you start keeping a little bit too much away. Because like I said, it has to be a very good mix of selfishness and selflessness, right? Giving and taking. And you know, you give too much, people will take advantage of you. You take too much, people they won't like you because you're too parasitic. So the Queen of Wands now represents, but when it comes to what you can change about a relationship, is that a lot of you Geminis really need to just let relationships dissolve. A lot of times, you Geminis will latch on to people that you really shouldn't be, really based upon, really based upon like, the looks, really based upon stuff like this, trying your endeavor best to not really call the people that you really want to call, because love for you would be surrendering power and all this other type of stuff. I'm serious. So let's clarify some of these cards here. Let's clarify the Temperance. So what have you learned? So you have the Eight of Swords, the Hermit, the Four of Cups, and then you have the Seven of Pentacles. To clarify the Temperance, right? You realize that that this is just what your life is. That a lot of people in general are going to try to run game, because this is just a part of the time that we're in. But those people are really not successful in life. No, they're not. But they're going to try to make it seem like they are. So even real, deep, joyous success is based upon character and having character. And the Four of Cups, which you already have, but the Seven of Pentacles now represents, but those people are going to be down in the dumps. And that ultimately, you Geminis really need to understand that you can't save these people. You never could. The best thing for you Geminis to do is to make sure that you Geminis are not one of those individuals, because you still have a lot more life to live, still more people to get to know, And you're not going to be able to do that if you're so caught up with what people did to you in the past.